Welcome back to In the Spotlight. Today I am catching up with one of the sweetest and most creative people I've met in the space, Geena Hunt. We originally met on a brand trip in Miami a couple of years ago, and I was immediately struck by her kindness and her warmth and her originality. In this episode, we dive into Gina's journey as a content creator from none other than Kentucky, how she's built a following by blending vintage beauty with modern platforms, and what it's really like to film, edit, and style those gorgeous decade-inspired videos that we all love. We also talk about the behind the scenes work that most people don't see, from convincing her siblings to join her shoots, to planning everything from Pinterest boards to golden hour lighting. If you're curious about the intersection of creativity, nostalgia, and staying grounded while growing online, you're going to want to listen to this one. I am so excited to chat with you. I feel like so much has changed since we met in Miami, and I kind of just want to do like a little introduction to that, since that is how we met. And it was through a brand trip with Revlon, and I really wanted to bring you on firstly because out of all of the people that I met there, you were like one of the nicest influencers ever.
Oh,
Um,
thanks.
and so that was just so refreshing.
Well, I literally loved getting to know you, and I had so much fun with you as well. So I'm so excited to be connecting again.
I know, me too. Yeah, and I think probably one of the things that I was like most struck by with you and that like really stuck out to me was like I feel like at that time I had only met like major influencers that were in the big cities. So for you to say you were in Kentucky, I was like, wow, like you really showed that it's possible to do that without being in a major city.
Thanks. No, it's so random. Every time I say I'm from Kentucky, people are like, Kentucky? What's that like? It's so random.
I know, it definitely is. So are you still there?
Yes, born and raised. I'm really close to Cincinnati though. So like 10 minutes from the city, 10 minutes from country, horse. It's a really nice mix.
Yeah, no, that is a nice mix. And what is it like, I guess, like being an influencer there? Like, are you constantly like flying to different places? Like, what does that look like?
Yeah, so I have my whole setup here. I have my beauty room and then I film in like different places. But I am fortunate enough to be able to travel a lot for work. Luckily, New York is a super easy flight. In California, it's pretty simple too. So I like coming back here. It's like a home base. My family's here, my friends are here, and I kind of like being kind of separated from that. It kind of gives me a good mix of everything.
Yeah, definitely. Has there ever been times where you're like, oh, like I feel like I should move, or do you feel like really confident in the fact that like you're with your family, you're with your friends? Like, kind of how do you view it?
Yeah, sometimes I'm like, should I be living somewhere else just because there's so many events and things going on all the time? But I feel like it's really special though when I do go because I'm like, oh, I'm not used to this because there's no events where I'm at or anything. And then honestly, I've spoken to a few people that I've worked with about moving if they think it would be a good idea or whatnot. And they're like, if it's working for you here, just that's fine too. So, yeah, I like it.
Yeah, it's definitely like the best of both worlds. Like you get to be
Exactly.
around your family, and if it's working, like what's the point?
Exactly. And I'm not opposed to moving somewhere for a little bit, but I don't know. I just love being here with I have a big family and my closest friends are here, so yeah.
Yeah. I think what I love about like you and your story is just like how it proves that the industry is like changing. Cause I feel like even 10 years ago, to do anything even remotely similar, you would be like basically forced to move to a big city and like work under a publication or something like that. But I feel like this is just like proof that you can, I don't know, like be on camera and make makeup videos and make money while staying in maybe a smaller state.
Yeah, I feel very blessed to be able to do what I love where I do it and be able to do it kind of wherever, honestly. It's just like with my phone and some good lighting, but I know I feel very lucky to be able to have that flexibility.
Okay, let's get into your makeup stuff because I am always so beyond impressed by your videos. I have ever
Thanks.
since we met in Miami, like you are so like masterful with not only like the concept creation of the videos, but also the editing aspect as
Oh,
well.
thank you.
And I don't remember what your following was at the time when we were in Miami, but I'm pretty sure hasn't it grown like exponentially since?
I feel like it has grown a lot for the past 2 years. It's crazy. I mean, I sometimes I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't realize that that many people are watching because when you just post it, it's a number on the screen. It's like whatever, but then you think about it and you're like, wow, that's actually a lot of people.
Yeah, definitely. But I feel like people are just I feel like you're a very rare I guess and that's what they say that is really successful these days is like being more niche, but it's like you just don't see people recreating vintage content and I feel like it just like I don't know, like it's so inspiring and it's so different and I feel like that's why people are kind of so taken by it.
Oh, thank you so much. I love doing those videos, and I'm so passionate about different decades and whatnot of the makeup, hair, and fashion. So I love it, and I'm so happy the people that watch my videos seem to love it. It's the best.
Yeah. Have you always been someone who's interested in like the different decades and history and all of that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I've grown up watching a lot of old movies. My dad is super into all of them, so we would always do that. And then just the icons like Audrey Hepburn, Marilyn Monroe, all of them, I've been fascinated by their looks and whatnot, so it's so fun to do videos inspired by that. However, I have learned so much since starting to recreate those videos. I remember I did a Twiggy's 1960s look. It was one of my first videos to really go more viral, maybe like 3 years ago, 4 years ago. I don't even remember. And then I was like, wait, this was so fun. And my parents and my siblings were like, we love that vintage vibe. And I'm like, ooh, I should just like keep leaning in more into that. And then I just been doing a lot of research on it and finding cool images and whatnot.
Yeah, no, that's such a good point. Like when you were kind of in the beginning stages of content creation, were you kind of like just testing the waters and sort of seeing what worked and seeing what you were drawn to? Like, what did that look like?
Yeah, so when I started out, I was kind of doing really crazy makeup looks, and I had like random dance videos because that was super trendy at the time. And
Oh, and you're
however,
a dancer, right?
yeah, yeah. Oh, good memory. Um, so I was doing these crazy makeup looks. I was watching all like the old beauty gurus and everything. And those videos, I mean, I was posting for a long time before anything went viral. However, when I did a more natural makeup look and showed my freckles and like more red hair, that video blew up. And I was like, oh, maybe I should do more of that. And then I did a hair tutorial because people were asking how I did my hair in that video. And then I kind of found what worked for me and what people liked. And I like doing that more anyway. So, yeah.
What do you think it was about like I guess like having a more natural makeup look that people were like drawn to?
I feel as a redhead, I love seeing other redheads with their freckles, and I don't know. I feel like it just fits me more, and maybe people just like that look on me. I don't know.
Yeah, I one of my best friends is a redhead and I know like in certain instances like with self tanner and stuff like that like she'll sometimes like have a struggle finding products that like fit her best and I think sometimes people like also to see inspiration that looks just like them so then they can
Exactly.
make looks that look great specifically on them.
Exactly. And that was during the rise of the clean girl era. I had like the slick bun, the freckles, very natural. and I loved it because it was during the summer,
Yeah,
and it was what I
definitely.
wore every day anyway.
Yeah. So I want to get into you have now become so good at both hair and makeup. Is this something that you've always, I guess, been interested in? And like you've become good to the point where it seems like you almost have professional training. Is that a thing or just have you like learned that on your own?
I have learned it on my own. I feel like I've just gotten pretty good at it from doing it and practicing it. And I've danced, as we discussed. So you had to do your makeup for that and hair a little bit, but I was definitely makeup focused. I didn't really care about styling my hair that much. Then when TikTok started and whatnot, people were like, how do you do that sleek bun? So I did the tutorial. And then I just bought my Dyson Airwrap and people loved that and I loved it. I'm like, wait, this is so fun. And I just started practicing and now I think I post more hair videos than I do makeup and I love it. I just have learned by doing it. I feel like that's the best way to.
Yeah, definitely. And to kind of like, I don't know, get more insight into that, I feel like the way you do it, it makes it look so easy. But can you give a little like, was there like years of like learning and trial and error and stuff like that to kind of really master it?
Ooh, I feel I've learned how to do hair just from doing the videos a lot and there's a lot of fails that you don't see. Sometimes I'm like, oh, that was a terrible recreation of it. I'm gonna try again tomorrow. So sometimes it takes a time or two, and then also it's edited down to 30 seconds. But just the practicing with it has made it so much easier. And once I've learned how to do old Hollywood waves or I don't know, another stuff, some type of updo, it's pretty easy to figure out how to do a similar hairstyle because they're not too different.
Yeah, definitely. And are you like looking up inspiration videos on like how to like perfect it? Because old Hollywood to me seems like one of the hardest like hairstyles to perfect. So are you like looking up videos on how to do it?
Yeah, I've looked up old tutorials. One of my favorite YouTube channels is Glamour Days. They have vintage makeup videos and some hair videos. And then also being able to meet actual like celebrity stylists on trips or whatnot. I've asked them for some tips. And then YouTubers or other people on TikTok, I've kind of taken inspiration from everyone on how to do things. And then just by practicing, I've figured out what works best for me. But yeah, it's definitely trial and error. But with the practice, it just has made it easier. And I kind of know how to do certain things now if a problem comes up or if there's too much frizz. I don't know.
Yeah, definitely. And can you kind of go into like how do you pick, I guess, like the different styles? Because there really is so many different eras to choose from, hairstyles and all the different things, but how do you go about like I guess like being inspired by something versus like creating the actual video? Like how do you choose like what's best for you and your content?
Oh, that's a good question. I get inspiration from a lot of different places. Pinterest. Sometimes if I watch a movie, I'm like, oh, I want to recreate that. Sometimes a follower or someone will message me and be like, you should do this. Good idea. Or magazines. There's just so many places to get inspiration. Or if I'm going on a walk and listening to music, I get really, really inspired by old music. And then, like, if it was a 1940s song, I'm like, oh, I want to do a video to that. I can picture it in my head how I'm going to edit it. And then I look up 1940s hairstyles on Pinterest or movies. And I have, like, so many different images of different what's the word, celebrities or people from the era and see how they style it. What was the common thing in the hairstyle, just to make it as accurate as possible.
Yeah, definitely. And is it like do you have like even a mood board towards all of this?
Pinterest, I would say, is my mood board. Yeah, and then just TikTok is a great resource and to see what other vintage hairstyles and people edit old movies and everything together, find images, and it's fun to always look at that for inspiration as well.
Yeah, definitely. And I feel like I can so relate to that as a writer just because like I feel like most people would think it's like, oh, like I don't know, like just looking up a video and then all of a sudden you're inspired, but it really does come from like different sources, like an image or like you said, music. Like it doesn't just like it's not like a straightforward maybe process that people would think. It comes from like multiple different sources.
Yes. And then sometimes though, if I see a movie hairstyle, if it's like a specific recreation, that's, I mean, sometimes easier because it's just recreating that specific hairstyle. However, when I'm doing like a whole decade, that's when I get the different images to see what was really trending and popular.
Do you have like specific decades that you're drawn to more than others?
Ooh, I love the 1940s old Hollywood. I mean, I've done so many videos with it, but I'm just obsessed. I think it's just so glamorous and timeless and classic. And it's also fun to play around with how to recreate that because they did vintage wet sets a lot of the time. So I've done some videos doing that, which it takes way longer because it has to dry. But then I've also played around. Oh, I've played with using curling irons and then my Dyson and rollers. There's just a lot of different techniques to try with that. And then I also am such a fan of the 60s and 70s, the big hair, the headbands, the Farrah Fawcett blowout in the 70s. It's just so fun.
No,
I
it's
could
so
talk
good.
about it forever.
No, I know. So could I. I feel like that was one of the biggest reasons I was drawn into like writing and fashion and magazines because of like seeing all the different eras. Like when I was an intern at Harper's Bazaar, one of my favorite things was to go into their closet of old magazines and look at the old stuff. Like it was the
That's so funny.
absolute like coolest thing ever just to see like the old things that they used to do. And I love looking at like old like fashion documentaries and just
Yeah.
like it is like the coolest thing. And I feel like they really like I don't know, there was something about those eras that they really went for it. Like they were super polished, put together, like they really went for it.
Yes. What's your favorite?
Oh gosh. I feel like that is like so hard to decide, but at the same time, gosh, you have so many. You have the like the 60s Twiggy, that was really cool. You have like the 90s supermodels, but I
Oh,
feel
I
like
love that. Yes.
yeah, like it's so hard to decide, but I would say if I'm like really taken by anything, it was probably like the 20s, like flapper era.
Oh, oh my gosh. Great Gatsby. Do
Yes.
you like that movie?
Oh, yes. Love it.
So good. So good.
Have you happened to do any looks from that at all?
Yes. Oh my gosh. I'll send it to you after
Yes,
this.
please do. Oh my gosh.
It was so fun. I did like the finger waves with it, and I have these 1920s hair clips. They're probably in my cabinet over there. And it's what they actually use, and it was so fun to recreate that. It was probably one of the hardest hairstyles I ever tried, but it was a
Oh,
lot of
I would
fun.
imagine. Are you able to like buy them these days still?
Yeah, I bought them on Amazon. I mean, they're newer, but I feel like they're pretty similar to what they use, like the exact clips.
Yeah, when I've seen your videos, like they look like from that era, which is so crazy. Like you just wonder, like, do people still use them? But they must.
I know, it's so fun. I wish everyone wore more decades hairstyles and everything. Like you can buy it on Amazon. It just takes forever.
Yeah, definitely. I know. That's the only thing is like it is a little bit longer and harder of a process, but I feel like for special events and stuff like that, like it's fun to do something different.
Exactly. Exactly. I want to go to a 1920s Gatsby themed party
I'm
in my
surprised you
lifetime.
haven't yet, honestly.
I'm like, if I don't get invited to one, I think I'm just gonna throw it. In Kentucky. You can come.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Actually, that reminds me, since you're in Kentucky, do you do like the Kentucky Derby and all of that? I feel like that's like very you.
Thank you. Okay, as a Kentuckian, I'm kind of embarrassed to say I have not been to the Derby, which it's this Saturday. However, I've been to a lot of horse races. It's at Keeneland. It's in October and April, and it is so fun. It's every weekend in April and October, and I go all the time. It's so fun.
It just looks like so glamorous, so bougie. How do
I
you
need to go to the Derby.
Yeah, definitely. How do you like, because you have great style too. And I guess like that's another thing that I love about you that I've noticed, like whether we were in Miami or whether I've seen you like on social at other events, it feels like sometimes you even choose like vintage fashion pieces. So you really like, I don't know, just go there. And I guess like, how does that feel? Because I feel like almost you stand out in that way.
Oh, thank you. I love to thrift things or buy things that look vintagey or just classic. And especially if I have a hairstyle with it, I like to go full out with the outfit as well.
Yeah, you do such a good job at that.
Thank you.
But I wanted to ask you if you could recreate like any past era like beauty campaign, what would you go for?
Ooh, can I collaborate with like an icon from the past?
Of course.
I feel like it would be really fun to do a lipstick collaboration with Marilyn, Audrey, Rita, all those people because they had such signature colors. And I feel if I had a beauty brand, that would be really fun to be like the Marilyn lip, the Audrey lip, whoever was iconic
I
at that
mean,
time.
honestly, could you imagine? Because I guess I haven't really thought about that before, but like considering all the different collaborations we have today, like for example, I think one of the latest ones is like Kim Cattrall with Charlotte Tilbury. But like, could you imagine one with like Marilyn Monroe? Like,
Iconic.
it
That
would
would be so fun.
no, that would be
Vintage
so
beauty
fun.
brand inspired by them. That would be really cool.
Yes. No, it would be so cool. Have you done any Marilyn looks?
I have. I found this TikTok video with this audio of sharing Marilyn Monroe's beauty secrets. And so I did a video to that audio trying them out, and it was really fun. I think people liked that too because everyone's just so fascinated by her beauty tips and whatnot.
Yeah. No, that's so cool. Um, and in some of your videos, I've noticed like you featured your family like in several different ones, which is so cool. I guess how did you come up with that?
Yeah, my older sister has a really classic old Hollywood look, and I was doing the looks on myself, and I was like, I need to get her in a video. She would look so good if I do her makeup and her hair. And everyone seemed to really love that video, and I was like, oh, I gotta get my younger sister in too because she has gorgeous hair. And we did a 60s look, and that was so fun with both my sisters, and everyone seemed to like that. And I was like, okay, I have two brothers, I need to get them in a video. So after a lot of convincing, I finally got all of them to do an old Hollywood video with me. My parents loved it. I was like, this is so fun.
No, that's so cute. What was kind of like your parents' response to it?
They just thought it was funny that I was what they thought it was so cute, and my mom wants the picture in the house.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure she
Yeah, it was just so funny to see us all like old fashioned and everything. And then just getting us all together. I mean, it's typical siblings. We're all like, come on. Like, I'm like, sit still, do it this way, or whatever.
Do you have to
So
like
it's funny.
do any bribing with them at all to get them to do
Yes.
it?
Yes, I did. But I was just so happy that they finally agreed and I got all of them to do it with me. I'm trying to get them to do another video with me, so we'll see if I can do it. Maybe like different decades with them. It would just take forever, but
Yeah, I know. Yeah, your family has like strangely like good looks that just go with these videos.
oh.
I remember you did your sister for Snow White and it was like
Yeah, that
such
was
like
so fun.
sheer perfection.
Oh, thank you. No, I feel like they fit the old time look really well. So it's just super fun to play around. And that was my first time styling men's hair. So it was super fun to play around with that too, because I usually don't do that.
Yeah, how much, I guess like since then you were doing men's hair and your sister's hair and it's still different from you. How much like preparation went into that?
Yeah, that video took a really long time because I had to convince the siblings. Then I had to go on Pinterest and movies or whatever and then kind of find what hairstyles would look good on each one. So I had a Pinterest board for that. And then the outfits, I had to kind of plan. I was like, okay, wear something with red. The girls will wear all black. And then just I had to do the girls' makeup when they got here early in the morning. And then we had to sit and film, and I did each one. So it was an all day thing for filming, and then a couple days prepping, and then the next couple days editing. So it took a really long time, but it's one of my favorite videos I've ever done. So.
Yeah, definitely. No, I feel like when it comes to like influencers and social media, like people see like a, I don't know, couple minute clip or even couple second clip and it looks like it just came together so easy. And it's like, no, it probably took like a lot of prepping. So that's so interesting to hear about like the whole process of it.
Yeah, I love it though. It's so fun for me and I'm so passionate about those looks. So that video was just really fun for me to do. I'm like, you guys want to do it again?
And can you kind of like take me through, I guess, like the full like creation process since it's like so many different elements of like, okay, first like you have like the inspiration, and then you have to like do all like the schedules and stuff, and then you have to do the actual makeup, and then like how do you go about, I guess, like putting everything together? Like, do you have like Google Docs? Like, I'm just so curious to kind of like know your process. Like, do you have to like plan out each element? Sort of what does that look like?
Yeah, so it depends on the video. Like something like the sibling decade video took a lot longer than just a simple eye makeup tutorial or whatever, but I am always writing down my ideas in my planner or a notes app. And then kind of during the week, I see what I feel and really want to film that week and I'm excited to film that week. And then I'll just take inspiration from that list and I'll be like, okay, let's do this today. But then I always have to, if it's a hair tutorial of a recreation, I always try to find an outfit that resembles something that they're wearing on the person I'm recreating. Then I do my makeup to try to look similar to that. If it's a full recreation, I it takes a long time to try to get the makeup to make me look more like the person. And then some videos, like I said, when I'm walking, I get really inspired by the music. It really just depends on the video. Um, but there's definitely a lot that goes into each one.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I know. I was just so curious about like the process behind it. And I know like you said, like everyone is probably like different, but it just like always makes me wonder how these things come together, especially like intricate ones like that do take like a lot of extra time and effort.
Yeah, and I try to get my setup to I pick like a different part. Sometimes I film in the bathroom for certain makeup tutorials or with like a blue background for certain, or I put things in the background to make it look more fitting for the video, and then just editing, and I feel music is a really big part in how the video turns out. So finding the right song and editing. As a dancer, I always want to make everything on beat and everything, so it takes a while to
Yeah,
try to match it.
definitely. And do you feel like just like over the years and you've learned how to create content and all of this kind of stuff, do you feel like it's like almost like yes, like you want to put it on beat and that sort of stuff and like your background has helped you with that, but do you when it comes to like choosing music and the timing and everything, do you almost feel like it eventually becomes like an instinct on like what's right to put with what and all of that kind of stuff?
Yes, I can edit so much faster now, and I know my editing style and how I want things to look, so I definitely can get it done a lot faster than before. I kind of have my routine.
Yeah. Over time, I guess I'm curious, has your I guess like equipment and all of that stuff, have you like upgraded over time? Like sort of what does that look like? I feel like that's not almost talked about as much when it comes to like content creation and that sort of stuff, but like how have you approached like I guess the equipment aspect?
Yeah, so when I started out, I was just filming in natural light with my phone in my room. And then I moved to like a bathroom in my house with really good lighting. I have really big windows and lots of sunlight, which I'm really lucky to have. And so I would do that. But then as I've progressed and been doing this more, I've bought some really good lights because lighting is just so important with a video. So I have my light, and then I have a huge window in the setup I usually film. I have my light with it, and then I have a reflector. Um, that combo's great, but if it's not super sunny out, the light and the reflector is great as well. Sometimes for certain videos, I like to use my Canon G7X. That gives a really, really professional look, but most of the time, I would say 98% of the time, I shoot it on my phone. So,
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that is so, I guess, crazy to hear because I guess like with the quality of your content, I would imagine that it's like, I don't know, some sort of like camera. So, but I know at the same time, like iPhones are so great nowadays, but that makes a lot of sense. Like it really is like the lighting that can like brighten up the face and just like show all the detail. Like that really is like the most important aspect.
yeah, I definitely like to film in the evening time. I feel like it just gives the best light. Everything's super warm.
Oh my gosh, that's
Yeah.
so interesting to know. Because I feel like, I don't know, I would imagine maybe sometimes sunlight could be really good. So that's just so interesting to hear. Like for you, it's more like evening, like maybe golden
Yeah.
hour vibes.
Yeah, I'm always looking at the weather
Yeah.
and trying to plan around the weather. If it's like a super sunny day, I love to film on those days, and then super cloudy. And then if it's super rainy, I try to get a lot of my editing done. So, but obviously sometimes videos are due, so I have to film with whatever the weather is. But luckily I have my light set up that works no matter what.
Yeah, definitely. And because like you're on your own, and you're, I guess, sort of freelance, if you want to call it that, how do you set up your schedule? Do you try and do it like 9 to 5? Like, how do you look at that? I guess we just kind of talked about like how you do it like around the weather and like in the evenings, but how do you kind of approach, I guess, like your work-life balance?
Ooh, honestly, I am thinking about it and doing it pretty much from the time I wake up to the time I go to bed, just because I'm so passionate about it too and it's fun. But I try to have a structure. I try to structure my day with I do a workout right in the morning so I'm not like looking at my phone when I wake up, but then I do emails for a little bit, then I do my editing, I try to post a video, then I get ready, I film, then I edit or post another video and do some more emails, and then I go to bed. However, I try to take breaks now on Saturdays and Sundays because I feel like that gets me more inspired for the week to come. And I was like, I need to take a break from the internet on the weekends. So
Yeah,
I've been getting better
definitely.
at that.
No, that makes sense, especially when like you're doing it, a lot of it on your own. Like it is a lot of work, so you do have to put like a lot of work into it, but at the same time, like I've definitely been there where it's like you can sometimes like even if you're passionate about something, get to a point of like burnout and like that rest like gives you, I guess like I don't know, it just like refills you so that you're able to like be creative again.
Yeah, I feel I'm a lot better at taking breaks on the weekends than I used to be, and it's great because then I just feel really inspired to create content for the next week. But if I have a really good video idea, I'm like, I want to do it on Saturday or Sunday. But yeah, I definitely try to space it out.
Yeah. Is there ever times where like in the middle of the week you're like, I need a break, like I'm off today?
Yeah, I feel like I'm always doing some type of thing. If it's not filming, I try to get my emails done or some editing. But sometimes I'm like, you know what, today I am scheduled to do something with I don't know, a friend or my dad and I get lunch a lot or I babysit my niece. So, yeah, if it's like something I'm like, I already have a video that I'm going to post today, so it's fine if I don't film anything.
Yeah, definitely. Can you tell me all of the different places you're on? I know you're on Instagram, I know you're on TikTok, I know you're on YouTube. Is there any more than that?
That's it. That's what I post everything on. I have Pinterest, but I don't really post on there and I probably should, but I pin a lot if anyone's into vintage things.
Yeah, definitely. And I guess like now you've met like celebrities like Sydney Sweeney and Selena Gomez. Firstly, what was that like? And then like when you started creating content, would you have ever imagined it has gotten to this place it is now?
Oh my gosh. First of all, they were so nice. Their teams, like the beauty brands, the hair care brands were so great. It was crazy. I'm like, what is going on? But it was, you know, I've always wanted to do something like that because I've always been so into YouTube and I would watch all these YouTubers do collaborations or videos, but I cannot believe that I was able to do that. I feel very blessed to be able to do that.
Yeah, definitely. No, it was so cool to see those videos, especially for those teams to like allow you to do TikToks and those sorts of things was super.
I know. I'm like, this is so fun. We're just making a TikTok together and they were so nice and they're like, "Yeah, let's do that." I'm like, "Okay."
No, that's so cool. And like I was saying, like when you first started creating content, would you have ever imagined it getting to this place where you're like doing collaborations, like meeting celebrities and all these different things? Would you have ever even imagined that? I guess like when you were, I don't know, even in high school, like would you have imagined this as your career?
Oh my gosh. This is my dream career. I mean, like I said, I'm such a YouTube girl and I've always wanted to do something like this, but I can't believe it actually happened. So no, I can't believe it. It's so fun.
Yeah, no, I love that. And another random question, how do you go about like planning like I guess YouTube versus TikTok or Instagram content? How do you kind of like go about I guess like picking how much you're going to do things or I guess like planning the different content for the different social media sites?
Yeah, so I pretty much post the same videos on all or shorts, TikTok, Reels. Those are all the same. Instagram, I obviously do some photo carousels too, and then stories. YouTube, I am really trying to get into the long form content. I posted a video recently for hair tutorial, but oh my gosh, that takes a really long time to edit. So I'm trying to get better with that. Um, but yeah, I really just post the same videos across all three.
Okay, good to know. And then last two questions. I do want to know, do you ever like have any plans of like going beyond social media, maybe creating your own line? Do you have like any dreams of sort of doing that?
Yes, I would absolutely love to collaborate with some brand on a product or just if it was a product I already love to promote that in a certain way. However, I'm working on something super exciting, vintagey. I'll have to send you some pictures soon with my brother. He's helping me a lot, so we'll see.
Oh my gosh, that's so exciting. I'm manifesting that for you. I can definitely see that in your future. That especially like with like a little bit of a niche like vintagey angle, I feel like that's not as common. So I feel like yeah, you definitely have like a realm, but I also feel like you would be so good at like creating product and doing something unique. So yeah, I'm really excited to eventually see that and get a sneak peek at what you're doing right now.
Thank you so much. It's like my beauty room aesthetic. I'll show you. I love it. I hope you do too.
Yes, no, I'm so excited. And then I do want to get into products, especially since I'm so much in like the shopping and commerce and product realms. Is there any products that you use that you feel like should be hyped up like a little bit more?
Ooh, that's a good question. Oh, let's think. I love a hair perfume. I feel like I don't see a lot of hair perfumes out there. That's great. Hair glosses. Oh my gosh. I know they're getting some hype on TikTok and Instagram, but they're so great. Even at the salon, getting a hair gloss, it's amazing. I'm trying to think of specific products. Let's see. Oh, these Makeup Forever palettes. These are
You're
amazing for
like, wait, let
travel.
me just get this out.
Let me just open my drawer, and I have so many, but they are great. I feel like they've kind of blown up though.
Yeah, I've been wanting to try those, so that's
They're
good to know. I'll
great.
have to get on it.
Yes.
And is there like I feel like we just live in such a realm of like influence products. And as someone who's like in shopping journalism, I wish there was sometimes more talk about like, actually, I tried this and it like wasn't so great. Is there anything that, I don't know, that you feel like is maybe a little bit overhyped?
Ooh, that's a good question as well. Let me think. Sorry, I'm trying to think for a second. I can't really think of one because I just like playing around with so many different products, but maybe because I like to do so many different types of looks, I try so many different types of products that I like to use them in different ways. Um, I can't really think of one. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. I feel like especially for you who does like so many different looks, like you can find a way to use something for any of them, so that makes sense.
Exactly. Even if it's not the intended purpose of the product, I'm like, oh, let's put this somewhere else and play around with it to see what look we can get.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, well, I will let you go, but thank you so, so much for chatting with me. This was so interesting. Like, I just love hearing more about your content, especially because, like, it is so cool. Like, all the different decades, like, I love watching it. And just like about you as a person. Like, I just find you so interesting. And so I really appreciate you coming on.
Thank you so much, Olivia. Oh my gosh, it was so great to see you again. And I love talking with you too. We need to catch up. And are you in New York?
No, I'm not in New York. I'm actually in the Midwest now. I go back and forth a
Wait,
lot,
where?
but I'm in Des Moines.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Wait, we need to connect more for sure.
I know, especially since we're like a little bit closer, maybe.
Yeah, I feel like that can't be too far away. I've never been.
I know, I've never been to Kentucky either. And it probably is a little bit of a drive, but could be worth it.
You should come in October and we can go to the horse races.
Oh my gosh, I would love
Because they
that.
just finished up the April ones. I went 2 weeks ago, but oh my
No, it would
gosh, you
be so
should
fun,
totally come.
especially like planning outfits for that.
Let's do it. I'm dead serious. You're welcome to stay over. It's so fun.
Oh my gosh, that's so sweet. No, I would love to. But yeah, thank you so much for coming on. Like I said, I am just so loving your content and yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Oh my gosh. I'm excited to stay in touch.